In this video, we're going to be sharing 5 important tips on how to use strength and conditioning for amateur boxing. Hello everybody, welcome to Boxing Science. In this video, we're going to be sharing 5 important tips on how to use strength and conditioning for amateur boxing performance. At Boxing Science, we recognise a lot of amateur boxing coaches and athletes are wanting to do more strength and conditioning. In a recent survey, we found that 91% of athletes and coaches want to do more strength and conditioning. However, 45% are restricted by time and 28% are restricted by facilities. This means strength and conditioning that we do at Boxing Science, we've got access to these facilities, we've got access to high-level athletes that have full-time capabilities to commit to the program. We need to adapt our training methods into an amateur boxing environment. That's why we came up with the Amateur Boxing Strength and Conditioning Program, which is now live on our website. You can access this for 50% discount with this code below, Boxing Science 50. So with this 91% of athletes and coaches that are wanting to do more strength and conditioning in their training, we know that 45% are restricted by time. With this, we need to integrate strength and conditioning methods into an actual boxing session. You can do this by 1, doing mobility as part of the warm-up. I've been in amateur boxing gyms for many years now, and I'll see the warm-up done for about 10 minutes. And in this warm-up, you see people running around, jogging on the spot, doing a few stretches, stuff like this. It's all kind of a pointless task. This time, warming up can be spent more productively, performing mobility exercises. You don't have to do the full boxing size mobility warm-up, which consists of eagles, windmills, Spider-Man to twist, going through to our squatting patterns. If you are just wanting to put in some mobility exercises, then you can pick out 5 exercises of this. So in our amateur boxing program, we do eagles, Spider-Man twist, squat and press, and lunge and rotate. From these 4 exercises, which should take 2 to 5 minutes to complete, and these are the main foundations to be improving your movement fundamentals. This is really easy to do and should be done every single warm-up. As part of that warm-up brings up number 2, which is integrating our plyometrics. So plyometrics are really important to develop lower body explosiveness, but can also be used as a potentiation tool to get them feet firing, get that lower body firing to then transition into your boxing. So at the back end of your warm-up, doing some plyometrics is a very useful tool. Doing stuff like counter movement jump, ice skaters. This is covering your lower body explosiveness and your lateral movement. Doing pogos, which is really going to get that calf complex fired up, which can improve your footwork speed and coordination. Doing 3 sets of these exercises going into your boxing training can be really beneficial. Then you'd go and do your boxing training as you would do normally, whether that's doing pads, bags, technical sparring, open sparring, body sparring, whatever that is. Boxing Science, we don't get involved with that. We really focus on the physical aspect of your boxing training. You do your boxing session, then at the back end, that is an important time where you probably do a ton-up circuit, a run or something like that, a finisher, to get a little bit of fitness towards the back end of the session. This can be done in a more constructive way, and these next 3 steps are things that can be integrated into that time at the end of the session. So 3, doing a strength circuit. Strength sessions at Boxing Science take an hour to an hour and a half to do, where we're focusing on a range of different qualities. However, if you haven't got time for this or the facilities to do so, it's quite important to put in these exercises part of a circuit, which can take between 10 and 15 minutes. This isn't perfect strength training, but it's better than nothing. Focusing on the main foundations of strength training, which then can allow athletes increase their training time and capacity, or the funding to be able to work with a strength and conditioning coach. They're building up some strong foundations there. Just working on basic things such as the squat, press ups, TRX row, doing a single leg exercise and a core exercise as part of a circuit. Do that 3 to 4 times. That'll only take about 10 to 15 minutes to do. This is making sure that athletes are still doing strength training at the back end of the boxing session. Like I say, it's not done in a perfect setting, but it's better than totally neglecting it. The 4th one is core training. So core training is really important for boxing, as we see that rotational strength, max force, and also lean muscle mass of the core are two of the most important physical contributors towards punching action. So we need to make sure that this is a consistent theme throughout training. So we want to make sure that we're doing 2 to 3 core circuits per week. These core circuits, back end of a boxing session, I see many boxers doing the core, whether that's doing planks, doing sit-ups, doing some Russian twists, something like that. But what we need to make sure that we're doing is increasing that tension and making sure that we're hitting them 4 key pillars: anti-extension, anti-lateral flexion, anti-rotation, and hip flexion with neutral spine. And also we're wanting to create some tension in that. Instead of just doing high volume reps, we want to make sure that we're increasing that tension, which will then transfer to favorable gains in core strength and stability. So performing a circuit of 3 to 4 exercises, 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off. This should take around about 5 to 10 minutes to do. The back end of the workout, really important for an athlete's development, really important for boxing development as well, but then it's really easy to integrate into your amateur boxing sessions. Fifth and final one, by no means least, is your high intensity fitness. So high intensity fitness can be targeted in a couple of ways. First one is doing sprints, shuttle sprints. If you've got an outdoor space around your gym, doing some sprints, really beneficial. A lot of amateur boxers still go for like long road runs, build up that aerobic base. This doesn't match the demands of amateur boxing. Also, boxers getting very fit from the boxing training that they're actually doing. A lot of amateur boxers are quite young. They should be still targeting that speed development and prioritizing that speed development. They get a lot of their fitness from their boxing training. In their conditioning training, we really focus on speed. So that's why on the amateur boxing program, we focus on sprint-based conditioning. We look at maximum speed, repeated sprint ability, then speed endurance. So working on these 3 things rather than just looking to do long road runs or even looking at central adaptations. And then another conditioning tool that you can use is high intensity circuits. Again, in amateur boxing gyms, I've seen like people doing circuits, often done in no man's land. They're quite grueling, but they're not optimizing them adaptations. What you want to do is try and restrict the amount of time on each interval to make sure that it's a high intensity effort, and to select exercises that look to spike the heart rate, such as running on the spot, burpees, mountain climbers, things that are high intensity actions. Doing this 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, doing it for 6 to 4 reps, have 1 minute recovery, and doing this 3 to 4 sets. This can take 10 to 15 minutes to do and can be really effective in an amateur boxer's high intensity fitness. Okay guys, so that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said in the introduction, these tips are things that we've integrated into our amateur boxing strength and conditioning program. This is now available on the Boxing Science website, and you can get 50% off by typing in this code below, Boxing Science 50. Check out the link in the description for more, and if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment box. Hopefully you're taking some of these tips into your amateur boxing gyms, something that we're really passionate about at Boxing Science. And if you want to get in contact, drop us an email, dannywilson@boxingscience.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you on the next video.